In 1981, a handful of New Jersey cable subscribers were able to see these pictures, MTV's first, and the newborn's head was already swollen, comparing its creation to the first steps on the moon and making a bold mission statement. Video wanted to kill the radio stars, and MTV intended to be the murder weapon by broadcasting round-the-clock clips. Clips that sold, so the record companies sent their stars over to make station slogans between clips.
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
All right.
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
Nice artist, but a little pale. In 1983, MTV was attacked for closing its airwaves to black artists. It decided to promote the Thriller album and air the Billie Jean video hourly. Michael Jackson had a hit, MTV too, and in 1984 it decided to become a reference in the art of video clips by founding the MTV Music Video Awards.
Why don't you sit down and make yourself at home?
By the end of the 80s, MTV was well established in the U.S.
Oh man, what am I doing here?
Seeing itself as the confidant of young Americans.
This guy's a little nervous, but I kind of like that.
Okay, man, just, Jesus, look at that bed.
So, Joni tells me you're really into music. What do you listen to?
When I do, I listen to rap.
So the channel embraced rap and street culture.
Records were being made, everything was being played, and Pumpkin was the king of the street.
And the black artist boycott was a thing of the past.
It's a form of expression which is done by the youth.
And it's on your TV.
MTV grew up. It moved beyond the video clip to broadcast its programs in Europe. Its audience wanted content. The boneheaded and brutal Beavis and Butthead went down a storm. So the channel backed their TV concept, Dumb and Nasty. Unless that should be Nasty and Dumb. Aside from spanking with ping pong paddles. There was Jackass, where a gang of young morons do incredibly stupid things, a concept that parents' associations deemed irresponsible. Yet since the early 90s, MTV has broadcast AIDS prevention messages and founded the Choose or Lose movement to get youngsters to vote in elections. Hardly glaringly coherent. On one hand, they offered the interstellar void of programs, and on the other, they promoted youth responsibility before they became brain-damaged larvae.
But sometimes you will find the real world is much, much better.
But the channel seemed aware that too much watching could change one's worldview, which at the same time would be nicer that way. But its redemption was the continuing fight against AIDS. In the noughties, MTV set up Staying Alive, a foundation to promote hands-on help, and continued to urge the young to vote. How better to reach the young man than by making fun of the old?
Sir, you don't need to dump that out.
No?
No. Ma'am, you're going to have to take your shoes off.
My shoes off?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, not your shirt. We don't need you, just your belt. Take off your belt.
You want me to take off my shirt?
No, ma'am. No, just take off your shoes, ma'am. Please.
I wish you'd make up your mind.
Take off your
told
shoes.
me to take my shirt off.
Thank you.
The place is run by a bunch of jackasses.
But the major worry of our times is the environment. So MTV created MTV Switch, which, as its name indicates, wants to change the world. By calling on God, would you believe, and on MTV, God is cool.
Hi. See this meter stand by.
Though it seems to be turned off, the situation is that in 21 hours it will consume 40% of its energy.
Press the on-off button. You know me. And this is the Earth. The biggest of Father's creation. Save it from global warming, and you will be saving yourself.
This is a hair's breadth away from schizophrenia. As, at the same time, the station's flagship, Pimp My Ride, transforms old bangers into speedsters, polluting as it goes. But when you have an audience of average age 21 with a spending power of $350 billion, you give it what it wants, and you shoulder the ambiguity between word and deed. The main thing is that advertisers still buy space. It's the euphoria that matters, not the bottle it came in. and you can be called music television without showing much music.
Hendrix, Page, Clapton, they're stuck within the instrument.
Because nowadays, music to music channel is rather like a guitar to a rock band. It ain't what matters most.